Thank you, Tim, for that wonderful introduction. Thank you, Ken Van Doren, for the wonderful job you're doing here with the Campaign for Liberty. And thank all of you for coming. I want to know you, how much I appreciate this and opportunity to speak to you. I love freedom, and I want to live free. Free from the chains of excessive taxes, spending, and debt that the government twists tighter and tighter around our arms and legs every year. Having real freedom means respecting the right of the members of your community to live their lives and run their businesses as they see fit, so long as they respect the equal rights of others. Together we can gain respect for the freedom that each individual merits. Just because he's alive, because he lives, because he breathes, because he thinks, and because his family and his friends and the members of his community. We are at a turning point. Dr. Paul calls it a revolution. I don't know what to call it, but I know it when I see it. I feel it in my bones. My neighbors in Wisconsin, they feel it too. They're telling me that they've been pushed too far by government. It grows and grows no matter what we do. Even with our severe economic troubles and job losses, the government taxes and spends and borrows and spends way too much. People know this is wrong, and they know it needs to change. And it will end if we put the hard work in to make it happen. Now, I know some of you quite well. It's always good to be among friends. My name is Ed Thompson. I'm mayor of the city of Toma, and I'm a candidate for the Wisconsin State Senate in the 31st District. Many of you know me best because of my 2002 campaign for Wisconsin governor. And in that campaign, I campaigned on a platform that across the board argued for less government and respect for individual liberty. Even 8 years later, new people tell me almost every day that campaign introduced them to the important principles of liberty. As mayor of Toma, I've helped show that these goals are consistent with improving services in the community. Though I love being mayor, and I really do, I'll be stepping down in a couple weeks so I can concentrate full-time on my campaign for Wisconsin State Senate. And as a state senator, I pledge in advance common sense in Wisconsin state government. Common sense, not educated sense. There's a big difference. I pledge to remind the people running state government that they work for us, not us for them. And I pledge to challenge the politicians in Madison, Democrats and Republicans alike, whenever they seek to impose an expensive government boondoggle, sacrifice our liberty to increase state government's power, or put special interest above the interests of the people of Wisconsin. For I also pledge to work with the people of any party or political persuasion when they are promoting an improvement in state government. But I'm not here this afternoon to deliver a campaign speech. I welcome anyone who's interested in my campaign to go to my website, edthompson.com. No, I'm here this afternoon to share my story about how I joined the revolution. The two-room school in Elroy, where I grew up, had a very small library. I think I read every book in it, some more than once. Luckily, that small library had several Jack London novels. Those novels captured my imagination, and their depictions of hard work and fierce independence, they spoke to me. In particular, I read Jack London's book, The Sea Wolf. I don't know if any of you ever read it. You should. It spoke to me. I read that book 3 times. And the Sea Wolf, the leading character, is a man named Wolf Larson, a man of incredible strength. He could take a firm potato and squeeze it with his bare hands, and the remnants would squirt out like water out of a sponge. And he was an independent man who ran his own ship on the high seas. And he was an inspiration to me. In grade school, I read just about every book in Andrew Jackson that I could get my hands on. In particular, Marcus James, The Life of Andrew Jackson. I was excited by Jackson's bravery. As a young, he was captured at 13 years old in the Revolutionary War, and an officer told him to polish his boots, and he said, "Polish your own boots." And the officer hit him across the face with a sword, and he carried the scar to his grave. I loved his horsemanship, and later his military brilliance. When he took on the British military army at the Battle of New Orleans with a ragtag of frontiersmen. With time, I also began to understand the importance of Jackson's important fight against the second bank of the United States. And I also recognized his faults in his action toward American Indians and his decision to hang volunteers who wanted to leave on the way to the Battle of New Orleans. But my greatest example of a strong, independent man was not someone I just read about in a novel or in a history book. My father was a tremendous influence in my life. He enjoyed life to the fullest, and he was so rigid in his determination to do the right thing. He would never waste money, but he was kind, and he helped many people. He would never cheat someone to get ahead of himself. And I've thought back to my father's influence over the 20 years since I've owned the TP Supper Club in Thompson. 20 years ago, I bought a building on Main Street that many advised to turn down. It had been shut down for 2 years in bankruptcy when I bought it from the bank. Now that building and 4 others on Main Street comprise the TP Supper Club. My experience of building a TP reminds me of my father's experience in building his grocery store. My dad had so little money when he opened that store right before World War II that he didn't have enough money to put the front door on. So he'd sleep in the back room until he got enough money to do it. Now I employ 38 people at the TV. And in the beginning, there was just me. I remember the first meal that, after I was open for 3 months, we decided to open the kitchen up, and I hired a young man, Judd Riggs. We went to the grocery store and bought some hamburger. We made some hamburgers and took it to all of the barber shops in Thompson. And, because we figured the barber would tell everybody they had a good burger, maybe they'd send somebody to the TV. We went and bought 4 T-bone steaks that first night, and we did. Finally, we had some people come in, and we sold all 4 T-bones. One of the ladies said, "What kind of dressing do you have in your salad?" I said, "French," because that's all we had. The TV is the business, but for me, it's more of a community gathering. It's a place where people from all walks of life feel welcome. Where you have their weddings and their 90th birthday parties and their confirmations and high school graduations. Having owned and managed a small business for the last 2 decades, I experienced firsthand the devastating effects of Wisconsin state government's excessive taxing and spending. Each dollar of taxes my business pays to the state government is a dollar I cannot spend to better my employees, or bring in new workers, or pay for materials to do some remodeling, or donate to charity, the charity of my choice. When we pay more taxes to support the wasteful state government, the wealth and well-being of ourselves, our families, and our communities suffer. My experience has taught me that a new government proposal to save the world hardly ever works, and it almost always costs more than projected. So anybody comes to me with a new program as state senator, I'll say, which one of the old ones are you going to eliminate? That didn't work. The hidden cost of government spending is that money spent has to come from somewhere. And we know where it comes from. It comes from you and me and our neighbors. Usually the best thing the government can do is step out of the way and reduce taxes and spending so individual families and communities can create jobs and expand prosperity and advance